Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Now before we go any further, I think we should start by changing our lighting for this restorative practice. Now that is more like it. Now you can see that I've got a number of props. You don't actually need any props for today's class, but if you have maybe a comfy knee pad, a blanket or even a bolster, I can show you how to use each of those in the class. So as we mentioned briefly earlier, we're a restoratively led class. I want to include some more spinal extension. Often in the practice we term this as heart openers. I usually bring these more into practice towards the autumn months, but this is one of my go-to favourite practices to do late on an evening. We're going to start in Sphinx pose. So we bring our forearms down, palms turned down to the ground, elbows resting just underneath the shoulders, and we just gently let the spine sway a little from side to side. Maybe you can lower the gaze, let the head drop a little, and just allow your body to move all the way to the left and all the way over to the right. Now let's come into some very gentle cat-cows. So from here, we'll take the chin into the chest, press into the tops of the thighs, lift the hips a little and try to round the spine. And then very slowly lower the hips, thighs and even the navel back down to the ground. Lift the chest and look up. Let's do that again, chin into chest, press firmly into the forearms, but then also the thighs, and as the hips lift, tuck the bum under. And then as you lower back down, thighs lower, navel lowers, lift the chin and the chest to look up. Really good. Let's walk the hands back so they rest underneath the shoulders, push into them firmly to come to all fours. And as you come to all fours, walk the knees so they sit underneath the hips. Stretch the fingertips open. And then do some very gentle cat-cows, rounding the spine and arching the spine. Just allowing a full range of motion so you feel the full stretch of both of those extremities. Now again, when I practice, and even when I teach really, I often encourage students to close their eyes. More so they can come away from the idea of creating shapes and trying to search for those elusive postures or feats of kind of deep flexibility, and instead focus more on the experience in the body. Let's take it a little further. If your eyes are closed, blink them open. I've walked my bum back towards the heels, rolled the bum along the heels, and then I've started to bring the shoulders forwards. So I'm creating these huge circles. Again, encouraging the hips to move as far back as they can, as far forwards as they can, but also as far over to the right and left. Now, as you do this, you're going to feel a little bit more sensation to the wrists and hopefully more sensation in towards the toes and the soles of the feet. For those who are wanting to develop maybe a more stronger practice, and particularly flow practices, vinyasa and power and so forth, then these are really great techniques just to start to establish a little more wrist strength. Let's come back towards the center, walk the knees back, lie the body back down, and then from here, now if you mirror me in today's practice, I'm going to take my bolster to one side. I'm not going to use that to begin with. I'm going to bring the blanket into play, also take my knee pad to one side. So it's going to be my left leg that comes forwards, but if you bend your right knee, bring your right knee forwards like this, and we come into a half rock. So the inside of the knee is resting down onto the blanket, and I'm gliding that knee away. If you want to extend the right leg a little more, you can. You'll feel a little more stretch. And then I'm just going to walk the left foot a little over to the left before I press into the forearms, lift the chin and the chest, and then I'm going to settle the breath. So here, let's relax the shoulders down and away from your ears. The tendency would be to be like this, to be hunched and holding or creating this unnecessary tension. Shoulders glide down and away from your ears. And then from here, let's make sure my microphone's okay. Let's tuck the chin in, lengthen through the neck, feel the stretch across the stomach, and then start to breathe into that lower abdominal region. Nice calming practice here. One of the great things about restorative yoga is that it really offers us longer time in postures, gives us that extra degree of awareness of the breath, noticing what we're bringing to the practice. Often in the more dynamic classes, sometimes you're just holding on for dear life and they become so physical, which is their benefit, that you just lose all sense of the breath. Here I can tune in. How am I breathing? And how does the awareness of that breath help me understand how I'm reacting? How am I responding? Let's walk the hands forwards. Let's take an even more comfortable position. Turn to look towards your right shoulder. Rest your head down onto the hands. Now here, let's shift the awareness of breath to the back of your body. And see if you can consciously and deliberately breathe into the shoulder blades. And then after the breath is full, breathe out of that region. As you continue to focus on the breath, you'll start to discover that it has a natural self-soothing element. If you just slow the breath down and watch it, you will almost instantly feel calmer. Okay, let's walk the hands back, come back up to elbows and forearms. And then we're going to take a twist. Walk that right forearm forwards. Thread your left hand underneath the right. And then I'm going to use my right hand as a pillow. What will be your right hand? So taking a very gentle twist. When I teach these practices, I often discuss the idea of sleeping positions. So in restorative yoga, while you're with me, we're trying to use the body as a tool. And we want the bodily positions to feel unfamiliar enough to hold your attention, but to have the same ease, the same familiar content as how you hold your body before you go to sleep. And for us to fall asleep, that means that our mind, in fact our entire being, has understood we're in a safe place. There's no threat. We can simply relax and drift away. Let's take just one more breath here. Really good. Use your right hand. Press into it firmly on the thread. From here we're going to take a further twist. Your left arm now reaches all the way over to the side of the mat. Left shoulder comes down onto the mat. And then wriggle a little until you can come into a twist. And now you can feel that your back, both shoulder blades are resting onto the ground. Splay your arms open or bring that left hand down. Take hold of your right thigh. And that's going to encourage you to take a little bit more of a stretch. If you have the bolster in play, you can bring the bolster in and rest it underneath the right leg. That would be more supportive. Or as I'm doing, you can take it over towards your right shoulder. And that will give you a little more stretch over that right side of the chest. Seal the lips down. And then bring your awareness to the breath as it first enters the nose. And notice the moment it leaves. Now start to focus on the abdomen. And you might find that you can feel the body move here as you breathe. Now as you continue to do this, start to direct the breath, just slow it down. Slower breaths are more associated with calmer feelings, a sense of ease, a sense of peace. And that's really what we want from class today. Let's take one more breath. Really good. If you're using your left hand to enhance the stretch, just let go of the legs. Bring the legs back to the center. Have the knees bent. Gently rock the legs from side to side. Really good. If you're using a bolster, let's just keep it over towards that side of the mat. Rock a little, lift the feet into the air, sway from right to left. And then let's make our way all the way over onto that left side again. To do so, notice I'm extending that left leg. Right knee stays bent because that will just enable me to press down into the right hand. And then notice what I'm doing. Right leg and right knee is still on the blanket. Left knee comes forwards, and this is where I'm going to make a move. So I'm going to bring the blanket over to this left side. Then I'm going to extend the right leg as much as I can. Keep the leg straight and strengthen the thigh. Anchor into the hands. Also notice I've got the toes tucked at the back. And then I'm going to simply rock the bum forwards and backwards and look to extend that right foot away from the body so I can feel a little more stretch sensation of the inner thigh. So I'm going to rock slowly forwards and backwards. Notice that when you come forward, you feel a little less sensation, and when you travel back, that's when you feel more of a stretch. Now, if using this movement has created a little more space, I say you take it. So you glide that right foot further away like I am now. I'm keeping my toes of the left foot tucked, and then I'm going to walk forwards, but watch this. Walk over to that right side. Now you can keep the head raised. If you feel you can lower the forehead down, bring it down. Relax the shoulders down, and then consciously press your bum back towards that left heel. Doesn't need to reach it, but just head in that direction. Now this time, let's be a little more intimate with the breath. Focus on the sides of your body. So when you breathe in, it feels as though your body broadens a little. When you breathe out and all the air escapes, it feels like the body becomes a little narrower. Almost like you're breathing into a balloon to extend it, and then letting the air go to allow it to ease. Try your best to keep the toes of the left foot tucked and pressed against the mat. But if at any point that becomes a little too much, just simply untuck the toes, that's fine too. Let's take one more breath here. Press firmly into the hands so we can lift the head and the chest back up. I'm going to make my way back onto the mat. Bringing that right leg down onto the mat. I'm going to extend it fully. Start to lie back down. Take the blanket over towards that left side because I'm going to use that for a bit of comfort to the inside of the knee. Inside of that left knee goes towards the blanket, and then I'm going to use my nice slippy glidey floor to slide away. I can feel that stretch across the inner thigh, and I want to feel a little more, so I'm going to extend that left leg just a bit further. Press firmly into the elbows and forearms. Lift the chest. Take the shoulders down and away from your ears. But this time, let's add a little more force. I'm actively pressing the heart forwards and actively pulling the shoulder blades together at the back. And when I do that, really start to focus on a stretch across the stomach region. And in this case, you will feel it more on that right side. Lift the chest up. Now, when you feel those deeper stretches, the natural response of the body is to tighten up, to protect itself. See if you can just unravel that a little. You're in a safe place, body knows what it's doing. Slow the breath down. Soften into the stomach. Find a little more ease, that's the magic. Really good, okay, let's walk down. I'm going to use both hands as a pillow again. I'm going to turn what will be towards your left. And then I'm just going to relax into the shoulders, noticing that tendency for them to ride high. And then I'm going to encourage my awareness to move towards the navel. I want you to do the same. So focus where the navel is, the belly button. And as you inhale, swell the stomach. And you will feel your body lift up and away from the floor. And as you exhale, you feel this kind of feeling as the body sinks back down. Again, really self-soothing, quite calming, almost hypnotic. Inhale and exhale softly. Take one more here. Okay, I'm going to lift the head. Once the head and neck feel supported, I'm going to lift back up. And then it's going to be my left but your right arm. It glides underneath and over towards that left side. Notice what I'm doing with what will be your left hand. I'm going to make it into a little fist. To be honest, that's more so just so you can hear me here on the microphone. Also, it feels quite comfy to rest my head here. So again, this is where we return to those sleeping positions. Not trying to go deeper. Not trying to achieve any great feats of flexibility. Instead, I'm trying to find a little more of that. Just notice that you feel really calm. All that kind of thirst, the unnecessary thirst to move and to do for action, that's begun to fade now. To take it a little further, use your left hand just for a little bit of support to lift you up. Watch what I do with that right arm. It reaches further so that I can wriggle and roll onto my shoulder blades. My microphone pack to one side. Come onto the shoulder blades. Splay your arms open. This is where the bolster can come in either, as you can see here, to support that left side. But I actually want to feel more stretch. I'm going to take it across towards that left shoulder. And it just positions my body in such a way that it anchors that left arm to the ground. And that means that as I twist over towards the other side, it's a little more stretch to work with. So this time, let's bring a little more awareness to the left side of your body. Let's be that focused. Breath is still very soft and slow. Maybe a little slower now, a little longer, but not forced. Again here, just one more breath. Let's bring that left leg back to the center. If you have use of a bolster, let's take it to one side if you're using it. My apologies for any disturbance on the microphone. I'm just going to adjust it one more time. Hopefully that will see us through now for the remainder of the class. So from here, I'm going to rock a little from side to side. Shoulder blades are resting down onto the mat. Okay, let's just press into the hands. Like earlier when we came up to all fours, let's take, if you've got any props, blanket maybe over to that right side. Extend the left leg. Let me take that bolster out of the way for now. Extend that left leg fully. Tuck the toes of the back foot. And then as I rock backwards, feel that stretch of the inner thigh. When I rock forwards, feel it a little less. So I'm coming back and forwards. Nice slow pace, easy rhythm. Also when I head back, I'm really pressing down in towards the heel. So my bum drops to the heel. It's going to give me that extra stretch of the toes and the soles of the feet. If you're not used to that, it can feel pretty uncomfortable at times, but super rewarding. It's a really good area to open up. Let's head all the way back as far as you can go. And then I walk forwards and then over to the left. Head can stay up, or we can use the hands as a pillow. And we can drop down for a few breaths. I can feel my shoulders riding again, riding really high. So I'm just going to move, let them lower. Take a few breaths. Okay, now I'm in. Lip sealed, let's breathe into that side body again. Really slow, super calm. Just can feel my body sinking down as I exhale. Just take one more. Just lift the head, walk the hands forwards. As we extend that left leg, notice what I'm going to do with the right. Tucks under me again. So where I take that big reach over to one side, start to take the twist onto my back. Arms are splayed open. Watch this. Right leg comes up. Try to draw a figure 4. So imagine you're drawing that numerical 4 with the legs. So that outside of the left ankle and foot rests above that, or right foot rather, rests above that left knee. And I'm going to rock all the way over to what will be your left. Now I want to feel a little more stretch on that outer right buttock. So I'm going to flex at the hips, and I'm going to squeeze that left knee up towards my body, and then actively press the right knee away from my body. And again, when I do that, I feel just a little more stretch. Now remember, the breath is going to largely determine what the experience is. When our breath becomes short and sharp and fast, then the experience becomes one that's of challenge or maybe even one of fear. We're in restorative yoga, so let's slow the breath down. Let's let it be softer. Just one more breath. Perfect. Bring the legs back to the center. Take off that right foot, place it down onto the ground, and let's close practice by taking it to the side. Left leg extends, then we bend the knee, we turn it in, we draw that figure 4. We rock a little from right to left, but eventually the legs go over towards what will be your right side. And again, you can use a little more strength and stretch by using that right leg, or even this. Right hand can come down to hold on to that left ankle. And there it just deepens the stretch. Eyes are closed and lips are sealed. Breath is very calm and soft. Breathe into the abdomen, feel that full swell. And as you breathe out of the abdomen, it's that big calm. Take one more breath. Bring the legs back to the center. Left foot anchors to the ground. If you're fortunate enough to have a bolster or a cushion like myself, let's take it behind the backs of the knees. Extend the legs. Splay your arms open, palms up. Okay, let's close in this way. Big breath in. Big sigh. Seal the lips down. And then let's take the hands and then start to rest them on that lower region of the rib cage. So notice where the abdomen is, so the belly feels nice and soft there, no bones. Go up. Okay, I feel the first few ribs. That's where I'm going to rest my hands. And it is just to rest them there. And then just for a minute together to close this super relaxing class, let's inhale into our hands and out of our hands. As you do this, slow the breath down. Completely let go of that need to move. Slower, slower, slower breath. Still got the hands on the diaphragm area, lower rib cage, open them out. Let's end with just kind of more of a human feeling now. Arms splayed open, feet straddled apart. Just a real sense of And if you're anything like me, as much as you love the world and enjoy everything about it, flipping out, you need some more of these moments. This is one of them. Okay, my friends, I think it's time to bring it home. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Mouth open, really audible sigh. Blink your eyes open. Reach hands overhead, point the toes. Stretch. Feel good. Feel present, feel alive, feel together. Good one. Let's bring it home. Thank you for practicing. Wherever you are in your day, if you're heading to bed, sweet dreams. If you're heading out for another few hours of life, enjoy every moment of it. I will see you next time. Thank you, everyone.